Morning. It's Friday, January 3rd. Hope you're doing good. This morning, I was reading Genesis 9 through 12, and there's two verses out of two different chapters I wanted to share because they go together. It would be Genesis chapter 11, verse 4, Genesis chapter 12, verse 2. So Genesis chapter 11, verse 4. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower with a top in the heavens, and let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be dispersed over the face of the whole earth." When Noah came out of the ark, him and his sons were told that the plan for mankind was to multiply and replenish the earth. To multiply and replenish the earth, cover the earth with humans, have children, be married, cover the earth. That's what God's plan was. Eventually, as men travel, they came to this one area and they said, "Hey, let us stop here. Let us stop here." And they said, "Let us build ourselves a city and a tower. Let us stop here in this spot. And let us build something. And let us build a tower all the way up to heaven. Let us build a place for ourselves." And it says, "And let us make a name for ourselves." That's where the problem began with these people. Let us make a name for ourselves. Let us be somebody. Each person has a hunger inside to be somebody, and they don't know how to do that. We don't know how to accomplish that. So we try to do something. We want to be somebody to other people. Many times in the world we can see it. People try to become famous. People try to become rich. People try to just have a name in some sort of field. They even if they only have a few friends. Not everybody wants to be famous, but they want to be somebody. They want a name for themselves. And that doesn't satisfy the human heart, because we don't have any way to make a name for ourselves. Well, some people can become famous, some people become rich, some people get really well known. Everyone knows their name, or they become famous, just in a small group of people, everybody loves them. But that in itself does not satisfy the human heart. And we can see that just from watching those people and experiencing it ourselves. We know that didn't bring us satisfaction. It's short-lived. Men will say nice things about you 1 minute and curse you the next minute. We see that over and over and over. Even when people become believers, when they become Christians, many pastors, they want a church for themselves. They want to become a famous teacher, a pastor. They want their book to be bought by everybody so their name is well known. And they cloak it in spirituality. They cloak it in, "I'm doing this for Jesus." But we really have to watch our hearts, because many times what we do is it will get attention for ourselves. That's human nature. And it takes God to deal with that. It takes the conviction of the Holy Spirit to say, that's not the way you're going to be happy. That's not the way you're going to be content. That's not the way you're going to find peace. That's not the way you're going to find Him, Jesus. We have to hide ourselves in Him. We don't do what we want. We don't try to make a name for ourselves. They end up making the Tower of Babel. And of course, the story is, God had to come down and confuse them all. Give them all different languages. That's not His plan for man. Wasn't to live in that one area and build some tower that went up into heaven. But the problem began with that. It says, "Let us make a name for ourselves." That's where the problem began. We don't have any business trying to make a name for ourselves. It will never satisfy the human heart. It only causes us to do strange things. Only causes us to act in strange ways. Only causes us to step on people while we try to climb to the top. Then in chapter 12, God comes to Abram and he says, go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. He gives him a commandment. This is my plan. Go from your country. Leave your old life behind. And your kindred. I'm going to give you a new family. Leave your old family behind. Leave your old identity behind. Jesus said, behold, I make all things new. We become part of the family of God. And your father's house to the land that I will show you. Whether that's something on the outside, a place God's taking you and moving you, or opening a door for you at some place here with the world that we see. Many times it's a place on the inside. He says, let me show you the spiritual world that exists within you. Jesus said the kingdom of heaven exists within us. From my spirit to the Holy Spirit. We fellowship with God. We dwell in heavenly places. We live in heavenly places. He says, leave your father's house to a land that I will show you. And then God says to Abram, I will make you a great nation. I will bless you, and I will make your name great. As long as we're trying to make a name for ourselves, it only ends up in confusion, like the city of Babel did. It'll only end up in confusion. I have no business trying to make a name for myself. What I have business doing is listening for God's voice and going where he tells me to go, obeying him, doing what he tells me to do. Then he says he will give me a great name. He will build my life. It doesn't really matter whether he makes us famous. It doesn't really matter whether anybody even knows who we are. When it says he will make us great, it means from the fruit of the Holy Spirit. He will live inside of us. He will control our life. He will bear the fruit of the Holy Spirit. He will give us love for others, patience, kindness, long-suffering. We will be written in his book of life. Sometimes he takes a man and he begins what the world sees as a great work. A lot of times, people's churches will grow. God does miraculous things. Or he'll make a man wealthy, or he'll give a man a place of prominence where people listen to him. But that's not really what it's talking about. Each one of us, God will make great in his eyes. Each one of us, if we follow him, seek him, learn from him, we will have a relationship with him, and that's what makes us great in his eyes. We will be friends with God, the way Abraham was called a friend of God. So let's not waste our time trying to make a name for ourselves. Let's spend our time getting to know him, obeying him, listening to him. That's my prayer. Thanks for listening to me today.